Welcome to Derby, a city that lies on the banks of the River Derwent. A proud city with a population of 250,000 people. Not only is it a city full of history and tradition, it's a city that loves its football, and a city that has one of England's proudest and most famous teams, Derby County. But this story doesn't follow Derby County. It follows one of Derby's young sons, Joe Page, or as his friends always called him, Average Joe. Now, growing up in Derby was brilliant for Joe. He had no family issues. He had a great upbringing. He had a loving family, brothers and sisters. He needed for nothing. But if there was one thing Joe Page dreamed about, it was playing for his beloved Derby County. But growing up as a kid, Joe couldn't play football. He didn't have any technique. He couldn't pass. He had no skill. All he had was determination and a willingness to work hard. But he found himself playing many sports going through school. He was okay at cricket. He loved going to the gym. He also liked to cycle whenever he could. Now, with both his parents being teachers, they had the whole summer holidays off together, and every summer Joe and his family would travel to Spain to stay with his mum's sister, his auntie, in her bar in Mallorca. Joe would spend weeks playing on the beach with his cousins. He loved to surf. He'd do all the water sports, but most of all he loved to kick a ball about on the sand with anyone who'd kick the ball back to him. Now, as he got older, he'd work behind the bar and he was friendly. Everybody loved Joe. He worked hard, he had a laugh, he was an all-round good lad. Now, his family always taught him the value of working hard, and it was deep within him. So when he came home and he started college, first thing he did was get a job at his local McDonald's. All the time though, Joe was dreaming about being a footballer. Only trouble is, he wasn't very good. He never really got picked for any teams, so no scouts ever saw him. No one even knew Joe Page existed in the footballing world. But on his way home from McDonald's on the bus one afternoon after a long shift flipping burgers, he saw an advert in the paper, an advert for a football camp. Now, this camp was going to be based at St George's, England's super state-of-the-art training facility, and it was a camp for players to come along to, try out, and hopefully get picked up by non-league teams. It was a way of helping the non-league scout for players. Now, the English non-league is a very proud league with many great clubs, but a lot of these clubs don't have the finances to go out there and find players for himself. This programme was aimed at hopefully unearthing a gem. Joe thought, what have I got to lose? He filled out the form, he applied, and before he knew it, he had an invite to St George's. Thousands of young lads turned up for trials, and lots of them were more gifted at football than our average Joe. But what Joe had was heart, and what Joe had was desire, and his willingness to work shone through. And the kid just had great game after great session after great game after great session. And at the end of the camp, when all the teams were picking players, well, Joe didn't get picked, did he? So on his way home on the bus, he thought that was it. At least he gave it his best shot. You know, go back to college, he could work at McDonald's, and he'll try and get a degree, and hopefully have a great life. At least he tried. That's all he kept saying to himself. At least I tried. As he looked out that bus window, one dream was over, but you weren't going to get Joe Page down. But then 3 days later, a letter came through the door. A letter for Joe. He opened it up, and it was from Alfreton Town, a local non-league team not far from Derby. A team that had noticed him and had wanted him, but had decided to go for another player. The thing is, this other player had broken his leg skateboarding in a local park. This was Joe's chance. They were willing to offer him a part-time deal on a trial basis. He took his tracksuit on, jumped on the bus, and was in Alfreton within the hour. And this is where the story starts. Alfreton Town with Joe Page, a no-nonsense defensive midfielder with very little skill. He's got nothing but determination and bravery and a willingness to work hard. And a dream of one day maybe becoming a Premier League player, a dream of one day maybe playing for his beloved Derby County. He'd just be happy to one day maybe play in the Football League. But he was always going to be limited. But would that limit ever reach its full potential? If anyone could do it, it was our Joe. Would he stay average forever, or would he go on and dominate world football? I highly doubt that. But we're going to find out in the story of the average Joe. Hello, I'm BOODFM and welcome to my channel, and welcome to another story-based experiment. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it enough to smash the like button. Hopefully if you're new, you'll enjoy it enough to subscribe. Thank you very much. Go and check out my other videos if you aren't already. I've got more story-based experiments. I've got a rebuild series at the moment, and I've got 2 old Let's Plays from this year. Denton Villa, I've got a Journeyman. You might enjoy them as well. Go and have some fun. Thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoy this and you'll smash the like button. And if you want to help support the channel a little bit more, you can pledge to my Patreon. I'm running a competition I'm going to be giving away multiple games, multiple versions of FM20 when they come out in November. If you go back, you'll find a video and it'll show you how to enter the competition. If you're a patron, you automatically get entered into one just for you guys. There's not a lot of them, so they've got a good chance of winning that. So good luck to everyone anyway. Go and check that video out. But for now, we're here with the average Joe. Now, if this is the first video you've ever seen, great. But if you've watched all my other stories, you'll know we've done quite a few Wonder Kid ones where they have, you know, guaranteed potential maybe. But maybe different mentals, and we've seen how they've worked out and how they've gone down different routes and had different careers and so on. I want to try something different with this. So what we're going to do first is we're not going to get straight into the game. We're going to start off in the editor so I can explain my thoughts behind it and show you in a bit more detail. So here we are in Football Manager's editor. It's the most up-to-date editor, and this is, in case if you have watched my other stuff, I did create a Boodiverse where I joined quite a lot of them up together. This is separate from anything. He's on his own. It's a standard database. I've just made Joe. There's no other changes. It's just Joe all alone. So in case you don't use the editor and you don't know how these kind of things work, I just wanted to explain what I've done with Joe compared to maybe what I've done with other guys. So we'll start here on Joe's player data page. This is where you can give him potential ability and all that good stuff. So you'll see here, his maximum ability I give him is 150. Now that's like a bottom end Premier League player, and I'll show you some other 150 players in a minute. Now you'll see as well his current ability is 60, so it's low. He is not a great player, and he's never going to be a Messi. He's never going to be a wonder kid. I mean, that would be very, very hard. Say Lionel Messi, for instance, when he was young on this game, he used to be a -10. Right? Now what you can do is, just in case you don't know, if you want someone to be guaranteed amazing, you put in maybe 200, or you could put in 198. I think Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, they're like that kind of level. You know, a Griezmann might be 187, maximum potential. So that's the kind of level you need to be at to be that elite player. And that's what I've done on some of my stories, experiments. Some of these guys, I've guaranteed them to be good because I wanted them to be good for the purpose of the story. Do you get me? And what we did with them though is maybe give them, say when I've had 2 brothers, or say I had the Jekyll and Hyde video, I gave them great potential, so they're guaranteed. But I gave them different mentals, so they approach things differently. And you saw one excel and one didn't. So that's what can happen with this. But if you want to have a bit more vary, you put minus. So if you wanted the next Messi, you'd put -10. Right? Now if you put -10 or any minus, this appears. So that'll show you he's not guaranteed to be a 200 level player. He could still only be a 170. Right? If you change it to -9, you'll see now it goes down. The range goes from 150 to 180. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, Joe at 150 could be a bottom end. Bottom end this. But you're going to have to be absolutely amazing and everything's going to have to go right for him. Now you probably know by now that my favourite tactic is a volcano, and I like defensive midfielders, so I wanted him to be a defensive midfielder. Just a kind of guy maybe sit at the back, gets the ball, gives it someone else who can do more with it, keeping it simple. Now here we are with his mental stats, and my reasoning behind this is, you've seen the story, he's a determined lad, he's got a lot of drive, he really wants to achieve, and he will stop at nothing to fulfill his dream. He's just not got that potential, but he can always do other things. So he is a brave kid, he's going to concentrate and work hard, he's determined, he's a good team player, and he's got a good work rate as well. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got it, important matches, nothing, dirtiness, nothing, flair, nothing. He's nothing. He's nothing. He's just got strong mentals. Now, you might have seen that again, like in other things where they've got maximum potential. Sometimes, if they've got great mentals, they usually do well. But they've had freaking max potential and they've done well. He hasn't got max potential, but you've seen that. He's 150. So can he ever actually carve out a career starting at such a low point at such a small club? Now, physically, I've given him fitness because he's a fit lad. He's always played sports. And he's a strong lad because he's strong. 17 is pretty strong. But I've not put in anything else. Nothing else. So that's what he is. He's fit and he's strong. And he's going to work his tits off. When it comes to technique, I had to give him something. I couldn't just leave it all blank, could I? I mean, the computer might fill in some gaps. We'll have to see what the computer does. But I thought I'd give him one skill. Seeing as he's strong, I made him a good thrower. So his only technical ability is he's good at long throws. So here we are with Joe on his page. His very first starting page, and you'll see he's great at throwing. As you know, he's brave, he can concentrate, he's determined, he can work hard, and he's fit. You know, great physical attributes, great mental attributes, but technically he's not great. Although the computer's giving him 13 technique and 13 passing, that ain't bad, to be fair. So we'll have to wait to see how he turns out, because we know he's only ever going to max 150. But he's 16 now. Originally, what I wanted to do was not give him a club. I was going to chuck him out there into the world and see what happened to him, but the computer would just not have it. The computer wouldn't let him be a player unless he was at a club. Weird. So, the story, you've seen it. He ends up at Alfreighton because it's near to where he grew up in Derby. So, not bad. But I think they're Vanarama North. So he's starting at the bottom. And I mean, he's decent. But what I want to know is, how his mental's good enough to carry him through to fulfill his dream. And his dreams are to one day hopefully play in the Premier League, to become a Premier League player. He'd love to play for Derby County. We'll have to see if that'll happen. And he wants to be in the first team at some point. But he is only 16. He's still a kid. He's got a wide range in his family, as we all know. Well, you don't know, but so he could end up playing for England, Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland through his grandparents. You know how it works. Anything can happen in Britain these days. Obviously, he was born in Derby, and he does speak Spanish because he used to go there every summer and work in his auntie's bar. So he could end. You never know. He could go to Spain. We'll have to wait and see. And this is where he's starting in the Vanarama League North. You know, pretty respectable league, to be fair. They're predicted to finish 9th, and Joe Page projected lineup isn't in the team. And what I'm really looking for is, you know, I know mentals are important, but I really want to see how important. I mean, when I'm looking at players in the future, you know, I really want to know now for a fact that I might find a 5-star player, but if he's a bell end and he hasn't got the drive and determination, is he really going to fulfill his potential? People say determination don't matter, but I'm not sure if I won't know if it does. Well, here we are, and we've roughly gone 11 years into the future, and I don't know what goes on with this, but he looks freaking brilliant. And he's got a maximum potential of 150. He looks good though, doesn't he? And all I do is say, I have it automatically save, and I just keep going and going and going, and then check in when I know he's roughly going to retire. So, wow. He's 27 years old. It's just gone. It's the end of the 2018-2019 season. He's at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's been to a couple of clubs. We'll have a look at them properly in a minute. I mean, he's played for England. And you might notice he's worth 59 million quid. That's insane. Anyway, so he obviously stayed at Alfreighton. Played for him for that full season. 34 games. Had a good year. Then he moved to Brentford for 1.2 million. Only played one game before he was loaned out to Herenveen. So he went up to Holland. Played 8 games. Good for him though. Came back to Brentford. And just got straight in their team. Had 2 good years in the Championship with Brentford before making a big move, £14.5 million move to Wolves, where he's now been for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, going into his 8th season with Wolverhampton Wanderers, all in the Premier League. Always gets over a 7, which, to be fair, for a defensive midfielder is really good. Look at some milestones. He got Player of the Year, Sports Player of the Year. Alfreighton's best 11, that's pretty cool. Move on to Brentford. He won the England Under-20s Cup. That's good. Got his senior first goal for Brentford. Got in their best 11 as well. Guess he hasn't won much. Obviously went to Holland, didn't do nothing there. And then he's been at Wolves, so let's just change it up a bit. Competitions, what's he won? He's won the European Football Championships. He's won the Euros of England. Only got 7 caps. Put Joe Page in the team. Gone and won the Euros, aren't they? That's insane. Came 3rd in that as well. His England career started off pretty well. Awards for Wolves. Player of the Year. Supporters Player of the Year. Tell you what, mentals are. Mentals are everything, aren't they? Forget skill. Skill will probably come. So if a player wants to work hard. Yeah, mentals are amazing, aren't they? So England won. They beat Italy 2-1 in the final. Joe didn't even get on though. On bench down there. but he's still got a medal. So this is Wolves, where he's been now for 7 years, going into his 8th year. He's their key player. Wow, I love it. I love it, to be fair. Fair play to him. They've been floating around the top 10. I think they finished last year 7th. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can improve. Can they go to the next level? So I've gone into his information here, and obviously you know all that good stuff. He still wants to play for Derby. That'd be good if he could ever play for Derby. He is a Derby County fan. Or he likes Southampton and Wolves now as a player, but he is a hardcore Derby supporter. Apparently he's still got a season ticket. He goes whenever he can. His favourite people in the world is his former manager Jermaine Defoe and Paul Wilkinson, his former manager as well. He's very reserved. I like that. He's professional. He's an elite midfielder with a potential ability of 150. I would have never said you could do that. You've got Joe sitting at the back doing the hard work, and Martin just in front of him, who's now 30. Jesus. So this is apparently the best defensive midfielder in the world at the minute. He's the most highest valued at 87 million. He plays with Paris Saint-Germain, which tells you they usually have all the best players, especially once you're 10 years into a save. So let's compare him with Joe. Because this kid's probably been a wonder kid when he was younger. He was probably got 180 odd as his max potential. Let's have a look. So first off, I'll show you this. I hate this bit. I only ever use this because a lot of people like it. I never liked the pie thing. It makes no sense to me. I like looking at attributes. Now when we look at it, technically the other guy has probably got more. I mean, obviously Joe's got a wicked long throw. His long throw's like a cross, and he's a better passer of the ball. Probably got even more technique, but all around the other guy's probably better. Mentals, it looks 50-50, but Joe's probably got the more important ones, hasn't he? Like bravery, composure, concentration. But he's got more flair, the other guy, more leader. Off the ball, his positioning's better. But then Joe's a hard worker. Joe's slow as well, but he's fit. He's strong. So let's jump forward, I think, to the end. We don't need to mess around too much with something like this. And we'll have a look at Joe's career as a whole. And here we are. It is 2038. Joe Page is currently 36. He's about to retire pretty soon. I think he retires the next season. But as you can see, he's still pretty good. Now, if you ever want to make your own player or do anything with a player and you want him to have a long career, I do it for these so we can have a long career, because you can look at more stuff. Make him naturally fit. They're more likely to carry on playing way into the 30s. But he hasn't really changed much, has he? He looks the same player he did when he was... his mentals have probably got better, to be fair. But he looks like the same kind of player, doesn't he? So it just shows you, I mean, the guy never had any real skill, but he's developed it. He's developed technique. His passing got better and all that. And his max is 150. But if I came across Joe Page like this, and you said to me, Bood, what's your opinion? What do you reckon his potential is? I'd be like, 180s. As we know, when we last looked, he was just finished his 7th season this season with Wolves, going into his 8th. So he played 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 years with Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think it was something like over 400 league games for him. He became an absolute legend for Wolves. We'll have a look if he ever won anything. But then, late stage in his career, Arsenal met his value and bought him for 59 million. When he was what? He must have been 30. Wow. And I mean, they got three good years out of him. And then he must have been playing in January. He made his move to Newcastle. So he's just played half a season with them. And it's his first year, apart from that little stint in Holland, where he's not managed to get over a 7. So maybe, even though he looks good, maybe Father Time is maybe catching up on him, or maybe he's just in a bad team. So while he was at Wolves, he managed to win quite a bit, mainly for England. And what he won the World Cup in 2030. Now, did he play? I don't know. He won the Nations League. He won the FIFA Confederations Cup. And then finally capped off an amazing career with Wolves. And he won the Europa League for Wolves. That is brilliant. At least he won one trophy, and it's a pretty good one. Then he went to Arsenal and followed that up with another Europa League win and a Super Cup win the following year. So, no offence, but I'm guessing he moves to Newcastle. He's only been there 1 year. I don't know if he's ever going to pick up a domestic. But look at his information, and he's actually doing his coaching badges. That's good. He's going to go into coaching. Obviously, his main love's a Derby. The team that signed him when he was a nobody and no one wanted him. And Wolves, so he spent 400 played 400 times. Wow. crazy. Never liked anyone else but his first 2 managers. Would like to win the FA Cup, but I doubt that will happen. Still wanted to play for Derby. It'd have been nice if he'd have gone to Derby, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? He wants to be a coach, but that doesn't mean he won't be a manager. Again, he's determined. He's took that over into his coaching. He's adaptable, can speak Spanish. He's got Netherlands knowledge. You lived there for 6 months, mate. If you want to check his biography, feel free to pause it and have a quick read. I do like these. It'll tell you everything in detail, how many times he played, how many goals he got, what he won, where, all that good stuff. He never won a Ballon d'Or. Although he did get Europa League Player of the Season runner-up on 2 occasions. I love the fact that Average Joe went to a team like Wolves, you know, an unfancied Premier League team, but still had a great career, became a legend and won a freaking European trophy, beating Watford of all teams in the final. And then 2 years later won it again with Arsenal beating Monaco. So England won 2 World Cups. Now Joe Page had nothing to do with the 2022 World Cup when they beat Portugal. He was in the 2030 team, or he was there in the squad when they beat Holland in the final. I was hoping to get in the Premier League. This international thing has just blown me away, but wow, well done, mate. Well, there we are, it's the end, and Joe Page has retired. He actually played 3 seasons for Newcastle. He played an extra year. I got that wrong. Guy never stopped. He retired at 38 years old. So well done, man. He's now a coach, hoping to get a job. Well, there we go. That is the end of the Average Joe, who, well, wasn't very average in the end. It surprised me. Maybe it surprised you too. But it is just a bit of fun. Just have a laugh with these kind of things, mate. Don't take it too seriously. Don't look into it too much. I just hope I've given you a bit of escapism and you've had a bit of fun. Enough fun to smash the like button. And if you're new, enough fun to maybe subscribe. I've just hit 10k this week, or the week of filming this. So I'm super happy, super proud. Can't thank you guys enough for the support. It's been amazing. 4 years on YouTube. Football Managers, and not an easy game to grow a channel with, but it's my game. I love this game. I love sharing this game with you guys. You're brilliant, honestly. Really, really, really do appreciate it. All of you, patrons, a lot of you. So thank you. And thanks for taking time out your busy day to watch it. Hopefully, going to carry on watching me rebuild all the stuff I'm building up to FM20. When FM20 comes out, wow, have I got some ideas? It's going to be great. Can't wait to create more content for you. You've been amazing. I've been Bood. I'll see you next time.